We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
This crusade, this war on terrorism, is going to take a while.
We came, we saw, we died.
We tortured some folks.
The love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over. We are back. It is episode 12. And I feel so lucky because I got my main man, Dan, back with me in the building for Dave versus Goliath episode 12. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bro, great to see you, man.
You too. I missed you so much.
Dude, I've missed you too. Thank you, man. I can't, dude. I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, why don't you get back out there? Just, if your boy can't do some podcasts, get some other people. I'm like, it's not the same. It's just not the same.
Month.
It's been
2
a month.
A month or two?
Yeah, we're on summer holiday. We got to take some family time. You know what I mean? That's family first around here. But bro, I am glad to have you back. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad that you guys are with us. Dude, lots going on in the world.
Everything's going on.
When we left it, I think we felt like things were kind of on an upswing, right? Hey,
things were calming down.
People that got the thing wanted it. They got it. This is great. They can stop wearing these masks and doing this theater. We can all go back to work and perhaps establish normality. But it appears that they're doubling and tripling down.
Yeah, they're relentless.
Oh, my God, dude.
And if you listen to Monica Perez,
which I do,
what she says is going to happen.
Yep. This is Event 201. This is the Davos agenda. This is the World Economic Forum. Klaus at play. Don't forget that. Alex Jones was right. I've been talking to people, mixing it up in the streets lately, talking to people about this stuff, trying to be more open about it. Our governor has instituted, and again, he's, I'm sure, just a puppet here, but he's requiring that all kids in public or private school age 5 and up, it might even be 2 and up, I'm not sure, but 5 and up, regardless of vax status, has to be in a mask all day. Dude, so I hope that some of you people out there who thought that you get the 2 things, then you go back to normal, and look now, you still got to wear these masks, man. This is, hate to get so Davy Downer so early into episode 12, but we were playing in the beginning, but the mood all changed because things are looking awful. That's one of the worst things. I just think I view it as straight up child abuse. I've talked to some parents about this, masking parents who mask their kids and feel good about it. And I don't know how to relate to them. And, obviously they have to do what they have to do, but I look at it similarly to like if I was walking in the grocery store and somebody just smacked their kid.
And I've seen it. I saw a woman in the store with 2 little kids, masks on the kids, and she had a T-shirt on that said "Vaxxed and Relaxed."
Oh,
with no mask, right? Because she doesn't have to wear one, but the kids do, because they won't let them get vaccinated yet. Yeah, it's sick, man. And I don't know how many shots it's going to take before they see the trend. Like 1, 2, here comes 3. Just keep them coming.
That Vax card has 4 slots on it, so we should have known.
That was huge. Who posted that? Was that Rand or
somebody?
Thomas Massey? Yeah,
somebody posted that, right? Oh yeah, I think it was Thomas Massey. I think you're right.
Yeah, those lines were there from the beginning.
Right.
It's like, damn, yes, sir.
But again, even the liberals, my liberal brethren, why all of a sudden do you trust this mega corporation to give you anything truthful or good or a cure? Since when is Big Pharma in the business of cures? These guys always offer a prescription subscription plan. That's what you get on.
I watched this documentary on mushrooms, which is out right now. It's pretty fascinating on Netflix. It was cool, man. It was all about it's all about mushrooms, but they got into psychedelics later in the thing. And Paul Stamets, who is just the authority on the subject, he's awesome, man. I listened to him on Rogan for a few hours one time, but he was talking about how even now that they've resumed the psilocybin studies on terminally ill patients, cancer patients, and things like that, which alleviate anxiety and depression for terminal patients toward the end of life, they can't get it through because what they'll do is they'll have people take these doses and have a mystical experience, which changes their entire outlook on death. It's extremely beneficial.
Right.
The problem that Big Pharma has with it is it's just one pill. They don't want to have anything to do with it. It's a life-changing experience, but it's not something that they can prescribe on a weekly or monthly basis. They want you to go have this experience and then be alleviated from this depression, but they're like, nah, that's not how we work.
Right.
There is no one and done.
Somebody sent me a video yesterday. It's funny you mentioned that, of Terrence McKenna, and it was done, probably a speech he gave from decades back, but it was done to some really great animation. And, he's not a libertarian, I don't think. In fact, I think this guy would denounce all politics altogether. So, maybe anarchist, and I'll certainly take that. But, he recognized back then that I think he called them the aggressors, which he, lumped in corporations and the state and just all this stuff, doesn't really care where it comes from. But the aggressors don't want you to have these tools of enlightenment. That's the worst thing, the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why Nixon started that war on drugs, because of the counterculture to Vietnam too, because they know anybody that has those experiences, they're not going to fight your wars for you.
Right.
How the fuck did we start talking about mushrooms?
I know. Because and me and you don't need them. Because you know what, dude? There's a lot of, we need to, as libertarians, that's a really great fight. No matter what. You don't have to like it or believe or be like eating them.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just have 100%. To know what it does and what it can do for people. And depression is a motherfucker. And Mike Heiss said Ron Paul, metal music, and mushrooms. I think that was like his key to doing some really great shit in life. So whatever works for you, man, go get that. But yeah, man, let's move on to some other drugs, some shittier ones. Let's talk about that old jab for a minute. They really want us to get that. Dude, our good friend Austin Dillon came by Wheelies to see me the other day. And he goes, you know what this reminds me of, man? My days in the army. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, when there would be like a dude or like some dudes who would be slacking off or not doing what they were supposed to, the drill sergeant or whoever would punish the whole group so that later on the group could take care of business where the drill sergeant couldn't, get your ass beat or just like it mentally,
It's the only way they could do it, because there's not enough of them,
right,
to make this happen if it's not a team effort on a citizen's part.
Yeah.
They're outnumbered. So this deep psychological trick to kind of turn everybody against each other, it's nuts that it's working. People the FDA just approved the Pfizer one?
Yes. Or I heard that they're like extended the emergency authorization, but that could be up in the air. But yeah, that's the reports that they have cleared this.
I find it hard to believe that there's anybody out there that is like, oh, well, all right then.
Right. You were hesitant, but now I just tweeted that. I'm like, if you were hesitant, but now it got FDA cleared, so you're going to go get it now. It's like, come on the show, so I call you a retard. That'd be great.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? And then my next tweet right after that was every single commercial for a lawyer you've ever seen during daytime television or whatever, reaching out to people who have been injured because you took a drug or somebody died because they took a drug.
An FDA approved drug.
You
ever see one of those commercials? It's like 7 seconds for what the drug does, and then the other 53 seconds is all the horrible shit that it does to you.
Yeah. Yeah, can do this and this and this and this and this.
And they won't put their stamp of approval on all the fish oil and CBD oil and all the healthy shit that I take every day, but they'll stick it on Krispy Kreme donuts and Twinkies.
Right. They're not going to mandate that you take B12, bro. They're not going to mandate that. No, they're not going to put that in the water supply. Whew. My buddy said, how long until they mandate? I mean, dude, you see this push for mental health stuff? That's not because they want you mentally healthy either. It's because they want to probably drug you up with some nice somas. If they can make you take a drug, they can make you take any drug.
Yeah.
The precedent is set. So like, oh, we've deemed this place, we need to dump that in the water supply.
It's not going to end with that one too. They're going to stack all the vaccines like they already do when you're a kid. You know what I mean? It's going to be then like the 2022 government issued vaccine package. Like how many of them are going to be in there? Yeah. Once it's in, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing so permanent as a temporary government program.
Right. So have you heard, because I haven't, which I think is weird. Obviously de Blasio implemented this key to New York bullshit about needing to be vaccinated too. It's hard for me to believe. I don't know if it's one of those things that the media just isn't reporting on. How, like, have you heard about how New Yorkers are reacting to this thing? Like, are people just going along with this?
I mean, there is a mass exodus. Michael Malice, he's great to watch on Twitter, but he's leaving, he's going to Austin. Yeah. And that guy, like, to me, just represents, people want to be there for the theater and for the culture and for, all the food from all around the world, and you can have anything at any time of the day. I think, that's a shame that that's not going to be the way anymore. Tom Woods was just talking about that too. He loves that city. I'm sure he loves going to museums and visiting, universities and shit. But they're not going to be able to do that anymore. That's real. That's real wild.
My only hope is that it just falls apart. There's not going to be enough. Like so say 50% of the people do it. Is that enough to sustain that city and that culture and that economy there?
I think, dude, this is a global re-leveling, right? So it's almost like they're gentrifying the place too on a large scale. Like, this is very racist, the way that this is going to pan out. Trust that. Because Black Americans have a long history of distrust with the federal government, as they should.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lots of stuff there. Move bombings, Tuskegee, slavery. You know what I'm saying? These are all government programs. So I think that's why they use, on like the Department of Health websites and stuff, they're really going hard after minority communities, and they're using them to, make the propaganda, push the propaganda. It's crazy. I saw this, I think it was NBC 10 put out a report. It was just like a headline, like just kind of nip it in the bud. They're like, some conservatives think that, COVID is coming over the southern border. But we looked into it. It's not. It's unvaccinated people. Yeah, you were wrong about that. We looked into it. Wrong. It's you guys.
I can't, but how can they? I don't understand also how they can say two things at the same time that are polar opposites. It's like, we all know now that vaccinated, unvaccinated, same viral load, pass the virus equally.
Right.
Yet somehow it's unvaccinated that are responsible for passing the virus.
How is it that we know that for a fact, and they still say we can't get back to normal until everyone's vaccinated? What is your hope? I've seen some people, dude, they're trying to eradicate it. I think, like Australia, they locked down or New Zealand, locked down the entire country because an 80-year-old man died of COVID. Right? That's fucking insane, man.
Well, you sent me that, what's fucking insane to me, you sent me that news clip from Australia.
It's those doing the wrong thing driving our record case numbers. Among the most concerning cases, a COVID patient who's tonight on the run from a hotspot. Police and health authorities have issued an urgent appeal.
Anthony Karam knows he is COVID positive when he steps into this public lift. Already breaking so many rules, he doesn't bother to cover his mouth as he sneezes and splutters. The 27-year-old is still infectious but has gone missing from his Wentworth Point apartment. A warrant now issued for his arrest.
This 27-year-old chap, who apparently has expressed the view that he doesn't care less whether he spreads the virus, is one example of the worst of the worst.
There's little sympathy for anyone ignoring the health orders, even this group of teenagers caught partying after dark at the bottom of the North Bondi Cliffs. Herded to higher ground by Polaire's spotlight and speaker, the 8 boys were placed in handcuffs and left to explain a $1,000 fine to mum.
681 penalty infringement notices issued in the last 24 hours. More than 400 of those notices were again for people being outside of their home without a reasonable excuse.
Sideline Sharks player Josh Dugan denies lying to police when he was found a long way from Sydney. The 31-year-old stopped at 11:30 last night in Lithgow, where he allegedly told officers he was moving to the area and feeding animals before admitting to visiting a friend. He and a passenger turned back to Sydney, only to be pulled over a second time, travelling in the wrong direction. The NRL is investigating and criminal charges could be laid. It's getting harder and harder to hide if you're doing the wrong thing, especially in the construction industry, a crackdown following on from the recent shutdown. Workers sent home if their paperwork isn't in check.
It is a struggle, but it's it's just what has to be done. Like, nobody likes telling people to go home. They've all got families to feed.
Our cameras rolling on another random blitz in Marsden Park.
Authorising me under the Public Health Act.
Inspectors have asked these tradesmen to show proof of their QR check-in as well as identification and vaccination records. One of the men here is from Campsie and he doesn't have his documentation, so he's being sent home. He may lose a chunk of his pay too if officers follow through with a fine. Tiffany Genders, 9 News.
Where that man was alone in an elevator and sneezed, and they put him on blast on the nightly news.
Right.
Like name, address, phone number, age,
Yes.
where he's at, warrant for his arrest, national news.
Right.
This dude was by himself and just like
With
sneezed.
all the
And they
same bells and whistles of like a bank robbery.
Yeah, right.
Like, he appeared in the elevator and went down and he knew that he had COVID and he sneezed right
He
there.
sniffled. Yeah.
Oh my God. I've asked a couple masters this. I'm like, yo, when you're just walking around and you got to sneeze with your mask on, do you just sneeze into your mask?
Right.
And so far they've been like, well, yeah. So I'm like, it's fucking disgusting. As if people are like changing out masks like on the go.
Never.
Oh my God. These are the same people that can't let me have a straw. The fuck, bro? Insane. Insane. Jeez. So yeah, this thing got FDA approved. Australia's losing their head. Did you see Trump get booed by his own people for saying he got the jab?
I didn't see it. I heard about it. What do you know about this?
Look, I know you got your freedom. It's great. But I got it. You should get it. That was basically the gist. And they booed him, which is really great. I love that his crowd is not just so far gone that they would just cheer that on. A lot of people would think that about them. But
I think it proves that enough of them, and hopefully to him and everybody else, that they're not following him maybe so much like people think because he's Donald Trump. They're following him because he's the fuck you guy.
Right. That's
you know what I mean?
really
and if he's not
believe.
going to be that anymore, that's it.
Yeah. That would be great.
How do you recover from that, dude?
He really, if you're a Trump guy or gal out there, he really did fuck you over. Donald Trump is a vaccine salesman. Art of the deal. Remember that.
Yeah, he brought it to you quickly, folks.
He sure did, bro. Let's see. What else we got here? Busta Rhymes, man.
Yes.
In the last 15 fucking months, COVID could suck a dick. We outside. All these little weird-ass government policies and mandates suck a dick. They're trying to take our civil liberties away. Feels good to be back outside. We outside for real. It's called the God-given right of freedom, right? No human being is supposed to tell you you can't even breathe freely. Fuck your mask. I'm saying, some of y'all might feel differently, but fuck your mask. I can't rhyme to you with a mask on. We can't eat food with a fucking mask on. We can't even see each other smile with a mask on. Damn, no. I come from a time where before I used to even want to holler at a chick, I used to have to do shit with my face to let her know that I'm into her. All of that energy gets blocked when your mask is on. Energy is important, and we are all conductors of fucking good energy. We also gotta be clear when a motherfucker trying to give you bad energy. You can tell from only the expression on their face. I want to see your face. Fuck your mask. Hey, yo. I'm sorry I got a little political and shit. I miss my people. We gotta talk. We can party, but we gotta talk. We gotta communicate. We gotta establish new understandings. Fuck that. I ain't going through that shit again. And make sure y'all prepared too. If anything came out of this motherfucker, was a lot of learning. I done learned so much shit in this little time off. Thank you for the one thing that came good out of this fucking shutdown. I have become more empowered.
He's not putting up with any more of this mandate shit anymore, this mask bullshit. I fucking love it.
Yeah, we need him.
Yeah, more artists need to do that. Just say it. You know, go out and play some shows. I hope the artistic community steps up because so far, man, you see, Offspring fired their drummer, bro, because he couldn't get the jab. He wanted to, but he's got allergies. So they were like, "Fuck you."
Yo, once again,
punk rock, right?
One of these punk rock bands.
Holy shit!
Just following the cathedral.
Yeah. Yeah, shit. You know, Ron Paul turned 86 last week.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to get to see Ron Paul in DC in just
can't wait
2 short weeks. The War
That's
on
right.
Us. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I'm excited to go with you.
I don't either. I think Judge Napolitano is going to be there.
Okay.
Speaking too. I don't know if anybody else is. Maybe Daniel McAdams. I'm not certain, but I know for a fact Ron Paul's there. Last time I saw him speak was in the rain at the Liberty Bell in 2012 on a very, very rainy day. But I'm really hoping to get a picture and to tell him that he's my hero. That would be great.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be a successful day if I could get
yeah.
that.
It might be a polarizing day. I'm excited to have you down there too. Show you around some DC stuff.
Yeah,
we'll get
that's
the Ron
exciting.
Paul thing done, and then we can go around and look at all the fencing and National Guard troops and everything else that's still down there.
Hell yeah. Let me see the collapse of the empire in real time. I'm very excited. Maybe we'll get a run in.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Alex Jones was right. Said that earlier, but I really want to reiterate that to everybody.
Please do.
Alex Jones has been on it. And he deserves an apology from me and probably a lot of you guys because we kept our distance when it got a little hairy and he might have said some shit that wasn't totally on, or maybe, you know, some interdimensional fucking demons scared off some people. I understand that. But this guy, and I mean this, has been more reliable for, I don't know, 25 years, at least 20, than any cable news pundit. Shit, Don Lemon, Anderson Cooper, even, I mean, we're talking like even Tucker Carlson, man. He's pretty legit today, but he was pretty much a douchebag like 10, 12 years ago. He had a learning curve there. Alex Jones has just been so consistent, and where it really matters, the martial law we're looking at right now, the global corporate technocratic takeover is happening right now. And he was saying that shit when I was in my 20s, man.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty grateful, man. I don't really, like I said, I don't even tune in. It's hard to like get Alex Jones. I get most of my stuff from Twitter. He's banned off everything. So like I got to go out of my way. And they knew that, to go to InfoWars or whatever.
Yeah.
But Owen Schroyer, he's an InfoWars guy. Did you see, man? He's getting charged for being on the steps.
For being on the steps.
Yeah, this is just for being
You're
there.
allowed to be on the steps, though.
It's the people's house. Or so they say. Yeah, man. Everybody who was there, I think they would like to classify as an extremist or a T word. And I think that's what, they're going for.
So I don't even understand what he's being charged with.
Yeah, great question.
For being it's not trespass. For what? For what?
But they're still calling it an insurrection, right? So are you a participant in the insurrection?
Shit.
Right. Lots of these guys, the guy who sat on Nancy Pelosi's desk, I think he's been sentenced. He's going to jail. Lots of these guys are still in jail.
Yeah, they sat in solitary.
Yeah,
months,
dude.
right?
And they got a 9/11 style commission coming out of this. So it's like this big theater. They're playing it like it was a real threat to the democracy.
And when the FBI comes out and said there was no evidence that it was coordinated, I mean, that still works out to their benefit because they don't want it coordinated. Like it was, they don't want it, I don't believe, to be isolated to one single group, because then if you're not a part of that group, then you're safe.
Right.
But now you just have to be there. You can just be an individual that's close by.
Yeah. Oh my God. And, the FBI probably had there was probably dozens, if not hundreds of agents and provocateurs in those crowds. There's 1 million people plus there. And dude, they looked like they were led to the slaughter. I don't know what agency anybody's working for, but yeah, cops let those people in. Look, this is a thing. We're going to run with this. It seems like a common theme from Pearl Harbor to 9/11 to the 1/6 thing. It's like, it's not a false flag in the sense that they did it to themselves, but they knew what was coming and allowed it to do it because they had some shit that they wanted to do, and this would be the impetus for that.
Right. If they find out something may happen, it's not a question of how do we stop. It's a question of what can we do with this?
Right. A whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why Brennan went on TV. And that's why, man, next up after Australia is the UK.
Can parents look out for maybe language that they use, their young sons might be using,
telltale
or
signs,
behaviour that they might have?
Yes, they can. So there are lots of bits of language that might be red flags, referring to people as normies or as triggered. Normies is the word incels use for people outside their community. Triggered, based, cucked, describing being red-pilled or black-pilled, which are words they use to describe being infiltrated into the ideology. Yeah. And it's worth saying as well that they see this as a kind of conduit to other forms of extremism. It isn't completely separate from far-right, white nationalist, white supremacist movements. They actually really see it as a slipway. So parents might see a combination of perhaps also racism creeping in as well. The incel community is a very racist community. This is a racist ideology. And of course, white supremacist is a deeply misogynistic ideology.
Yeah. That's some Gestapo shit. Having kids turning into parents, parents turning into neighbors.
Yep. I saw an Australian guy in a holding facility whose wife turned him in.
Oh, that's sick.
Can you imagine?
What did you tweet? Was it yesterday or today? I did see one you did where you're like, I'm just ready to be the second class
outclass
citizen from now on. I'm done. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. That's it.
Just not participating.
Stop participating. Leave me alone. That's the best leave me alone I can ever get. I want all of the Karens, all of the narc culture, all these people who hate in their heart. I want them out of my life. Just like I think, dude, again, I'm not immune to this. I think part of this is to divide people. And I am, I said to myself the other day, I'm like, like years ago, they started tossing around angry white male as like a thing. And I'm like, fuck, I am really pissed. I'm super white. And a dude.
But talk about the hate, man. Was it it might have been Tom Woods' newsletter or something like that from a nurse. I think she was in Idaho and she was talking about how she's hearing in the hospitals people saying that they don't think that they should allow anti-vax or unvaccinated people in to be treated because they're sick of them. It's like a second, like you said, a second class type citizen, like almost someone not to be saved anymore. And I just saw today there was a huge march, like a walkout of hospital workers in Florida, I think somewhere in southern Florida, where for that reason, like they're getting unvaccinated people into the hospital and they're like, we're not treating them.
And then they're doing it with the military too, man. This is a purge of good people out of the industries that they're taking over. This is a coup.
don't know.
This is how you do it.
I think they might be underestimating some of the people in the military, though. I don't think that's going to go as smooth as they think. Thomas Massey has a bill right now to vote on that, which it seems like he thinks is going to pass, right? Where they can't mandate. I don't know. Who knows?
That would be great. I didn't know that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best we got in the house. God bless him. Oh, man. Oh, shit, dude. Yeah, I got a couple quotes here. I just wanted to read off. Check this out. 5 times more children committed suicide than died of COVID during lockdown. UK study. This came out, again, we've been gone a couple weeks, but I thought that this was really important. This is from Amy Tarkanian. CDC has just announced they will revoke their emergency use authorization of the RT-PCR test first introduced February 2020. The CDC encourages laboratories to consider adoption of a multiplex method that can facilitate detection and differentiation of SARS-CoV-2 and influenza virus. So what she's saying is the test that the CDC was using can't tell the difference between the flu and COVID. And that's really convenient for the past 18 months or so.
Sure.
If you were trying to do some shit. But now letting everybody know that, okay, that's pretty much, that's where the flu rates went. Right? That's what that says to me. Also, this is a couple weeks back, but worth noting. Merriam-Webster's dictionary has changed the definition of anti-vaxxer.
Yes, sir. I saw that.
This is now a person who opposes vaccination or laws that mandate vaccination. So I am officially not hesitant of anything. I am an anti-vaxxer. Proud to be it. Can't mandate shit. And lastly, dude, this is on the local level. We are having one of our famed Democratic politicians exit his position in shame. This is Delaware State Representative Gerald Brady. Got one of his emails. I don't even think it was hacked. I think he accidentally sent this to a sex workers' rights group. But here's the quote from the representative. Is the dude basically saying if we provide free blowjobs for Uncle Pervy, there will be few rapes and few chink broads will be shipped in Conex containers to the port of Wilmington? Unquote.
He accidentally let that one go?
He accidentally had a moment of misjudgment and accidentally let that paragraph slip. The governor went out and said that, oh, yeah, I made a mistake. A mistake? That's how that motherfucker talks.
Right.
That's incredible. Holy shit.
There's a whole lot in there.
Wow. Yeah. And everybody, this was really an opportune time for the Democrats here in Delaware because they also had another, I believe, state senator, Darius Brown, who punched his girlfriend in the face in a restaurant, which was caught on camera, I believe. There is video of this somewhere, though I don't think that they've released it because they're not going after him. They're going after this guy instead. Seems kind of like that Cuomo switch. Like,
sure.
Wouldn't you rather have some sexual harassment? We'll get you out here on that, but just forgo the murder charge kind of thing. It's like, we'll give you this. So we're going to throw this guy in the gutter.
Yep.
As awful as that is, it's not punching a person in the face. But no one, demanded that he resign because it was racist against Asian people. But no one was concerned about the references to fucking human trafficking.
Right.
Oh my God, blowjobs for Uncle Pervy? Who the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean?
They're just concerned about the bad word, man. That's it.
Oh my God. Yeah, racism. Amazing. Anywho, bro. Let's probably wrap it up there. I just want to say real quick, we have a couple sponsors for the show. First is Anthem Planning. Anthem Planning is dedicated to helping growing businesses become more efficient in every way. From helping you manage your inventory or fleet to completely revamping IT systems or HR procedures. Anthem is ready to guide you through the process If you find yourself wondering where to take your business next or how to solve a problem that's been costing you money, Anthem is here to help. These are great people. These are Delaware Mises Caucus members who I know well and have been very supportive of this show. And I love them very much. So go check them out at anthemplanning.com. Also, RyanBunting.com. Go there. Ryan Bunting, he is a ANCAP author and graphic designer. Check out his book, Project Manticore, on Amazon. Buy that. This is a good dude. Please support him. This is the guy who designed Pete Quinonez's podcast logo, as well as friend of the show, Tommy Salmons and Year Zero. So check that stuff out, man. He's the real deal. Go check us out at teespring.com. Dave versus Goliath. Buy some hoodies, buy some t-shirts. And lastly, go to www.wheeliespharmacy.com. That's WHEELYSFARMACY. Capsules, tinctures, teas, lotions, wonderful full spectrum whole plant CBD products for pain, anxiety, sleep, any inflammation, all kinds of good stuff. So please check that out and use promo code DVG15 to save 15% off your purchase at checkout. Damn, that felt like we handled some business there, bro.
Yeah, we jumped right back in. We're back.
Jumped right back in.
We're back. We're doing this now.
Yeah, man. But we're going to go see Ron Paul in a week, and we'll probably come back and we'll talk about it. We'll do a 9/11 episode, and we'll get deep on that.
Sir.
Maybe.
We'll sum that up.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time.
All right, dude. Talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Episode 12. Thank you for being here on Dave versus Goliath. We will see you next time. Peace.